Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done in a little while, which is talking about live crowdfunding campaigns. If you've been around for a bit on the channel, then you know that I have the series To Back or Not to Back, one of my most popular series, but one that I ultimately stopped doing for a variety of reasons that I actually will be talking about in an upcoming dedicated video, so as to keep this one relatively short and concise. But today, I'm going to be talking about 5 crowdfunding campaigns that I recommend, that I'm interested in, well, maybe a combination of both, recommend and or interested in, and this might be something that I do on a regular basis, it might not be, I don't know yet. It might be that I start doing this every other week or whatnot, and it might be that you don't see another one of these types of videos for 4.5 months. I don't yet know. But what I'm going to be doing today, and possibly in the future, is talking about campaigns that I either already know about because I've played the games, the prototypes or whatnot, or just because I'm that interested in the game. It basically is taking To Back or Not to Back and making it into a shorter, more concise, here's what I'm interested in crowdfunding for one reason or another, and here's why you might be interested in it as well. But with that said, in order to keep to that short and concise that I promise but often very rarely deliver, let's go ahead and start off with our channel sponsor. Because Allplay is the channel sponsor, and Allplay has an upcoming crowdfunding campaign. This will be launching in, I believe, 2 weeks, maybe a week, no, I think 2 weeks. One or the other. I should know. But one of those things. Kabuto Sumo Dice is going to be launching shortly. It also has Wildberries and Imps, and you can go ahead and follow the page now if you are interested. But that is going to be upcoming campaign from Allplay. With that, we're going to go ahead and move to our first campaign, and I have ranked these in order of least to most interested, and unfortunately, and this wasn't intentional, like 3 of the 5 campaigns end in the next day, so hopefully you're watching this video day 1, otherwise there's always late pledges, and or the 2 other campaigns. Entropy from Board and Dice. I will have a review for you on this video. I've played this game several times, but I will have a review for you on this game. But I've played this game several times, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get a review actually filmed in time when the campaign ended. My copy arrived, then Express Crowdfunding was happening, plus I was traveling between. I got it played, I'm ready to review it, but unfortunately not before, the next day and an hour, so you'll have to wait a bit for that. But Entropy, which you will see a review at some point, and this is good. This is not like this is express crowdfunding. This is not a final crowdfunding. This is not a regular crowdfunding game where you get it in a year. This is express crowdfunding. It'll be available at Gen Con. My review will be up before Gen Con, so you'll be able to take a chance there, either getting it there or getting it online. You'll have lots of options, but that's neither here nor there. The point is Entropy. Entropy is from Board and Dice. It's an acclaimed designer from the designers Simone Luciani and Tommaso Battista and Nestor Mangoni, I believe. I believe it's those 2 if I'm not mistaken. They have the names somewhere on the page. Here we go. Thomas, yeah, I got them right. I may not have pronounced the names right, but I got the 3 designers right. But over here, Entropy is a game about trying to take the entropy of the universe and using it to create your own galaxies. You're going to be grabbing various solar systems from this display over here, but then also various planet tiles over here, and then build them together to create your little ecosystem as you attempt to play cards, which are going to give you various life forms, and then play these habitats, which you're attempting to fulfill based on the various life forms you put around the planet, as well as these star symbols on those planets. And then ultimately you're trying to achieve those habitats, and then turn those over, or flip those over, and that'll be one of the various many things you're trying to do. Because you're trying to upgrade your suns, you're trying to build new planets, get asteroids onto planets, and fulfill habitats, because all of those are going to lead to your various tracks over here that will both be a trigger for endgame, as well as being a multiplier for your scoring mechanisms in the game. The game relies on a rondel, but you'll be moving around this rondel over here with your various scientists, being mindful that you get bonuses for moving shorter distances, but if you want to focus heavily on the same types of actions, you have to move larger distances, so there's a trade-off there. There's also a trade-off because other scientists can get in your way as they land on various tracks and just reduce the benefit you get by going to those tracks. There's a lot going on here. The game works to ramp itself up as far as, it starts up very, very slowly. You feel like you're not really doing a lot because you don't have your combos going, you don't have your reduced sun actions, you just don't have all the extra things. But as you build up those things, your actions become more and more powerful, and it will ramp slowly but surely towards a player-determined endgame. Meaning this is not like, oh, you have 4 rounds. This is once certain things are triggered, game ends. Which, personally speaking, I'm going to be talking about this a lot in my review, I love that so much more than X number of rounds. X number of rounds is never as much fun to me as keep playing until these things trigger. And maybe I'll do a video talking about why at some point, but I do talk about it here and there when I get into it. Either way, that's Entropy. As far as back in the campaign, and this will not be a full should you back, to back, or not to back. I'm not really heavily focusing on the doesn't make sense, what'll be cheaper, but I'm going to try to give you general information. So there's free shipping to various locations. Obviously, free shipping just means shipping is calculated and taken into account, but take that into account. There's going to be 3 promos you get over here, and then past that, it's early access, especially for those of you who are not going to Gen Con, although they did have Gen Con pickup, although it does look like it's sold out. 2 of these options over here, August delivery as well as Gen Con delivery, are temporarily sold out, but if you refresh at any point, if anyone can canceled or changed, those should open back up again. For right now, we have November delivery is your only real option to go ahead and get this. That's the downside. Express crowdfunding works a little differently than regular crowdfunding. There's often more reserved rewards, especially certain tier brackets. So that's your options for Entropy over here. It's a Euro game. It's solid. I liked it. I'll be talking about it more in my review. Just as always, I like to be very clear over here. I like Entropy a lot. I'm not yet sure if it's a keeper for me. There's many things that I really enjoyed, and I do want more plays out of it for now, but it's one of those games that the biggest problem with Entropy, as far as I'm concerned, is that there are so many amazing Euro games, and I have to be very particular which games actually get my time versus which games do I want to give more time to. Entropy is solid. I liked it a lot. I just try to be more selective of what I hold on to. With that, we move to 8 Dragons. 8 Dragons from Wonderbow Games is a very unique action, a very unique movement game, which is great for Wonderbow because Wonderbow, their last game, Kelp, was built kind of on a unique movement system, and this one has a unique movement system. 1 to 8 Dragons is basically going to have you moving your flock of dragons throughout the mountains, but you're going to be picking up various dragons into your flock as you pass by this peak over here, and other dragons will kind of clip onto it. Wherever you stop your dragon, you're going to give bonuses to anyone in that attached flock. So you choose the bonus for yourself, and as well as you time it up so that the bonuses are not necessarily as good for other dragons, but especially if you're playing a multiplayer game, you don't want to focus too heavily on the denial because that might be compromising yourself. You want to focus on what's good for you and then take into account how it affects other players. I overall really enjoyed this. My biggest criticism was that the central dragon movement board, I wanted more variety in how the actions are, and they do have more location tiles. The base game already had like mix and match as far as locations. I didn't feel it would be meaningfully different. I didn't care where they were so much as what other tiles can we add, and they have added other tiles. Do I want more? Of course I want more, but it does feel like they did add more tiles as far as the expansion you're going to get over here. They have a little treasure chest over here. No, not that one. They have something. They have a thing somewhere on the page where you can get the various like 5 or so mini expansions. There's also a metal bundle, which gives you a whole bunch of metal dragons over here and metal coins and all those extra things. The Wondrous Places, that's the one. So over here, I wanted the Wondrous Places expansion over here. This gives you 5 new little modular locations you can put in. We have dragon rings, we have kobolds, we have they all do different things. I don't fully know. Dragon wings over here, beware for little gold. The wings might swap their allegiance. Don't fully understand that. Kobolds play a little bit of push your luck game. They help you get gold, but whoever has the most kobolds gets nothing. So there's a balance there as far as trying to be mindful of the other players. Obviously works better at higher player counts. The Orbs of Harmony give you various benefits depending on the kingdom. I like those kingdom interactions the game gives you. And then the Dragon Fest gives you, which kingdom will the Dragon Fest have? Adding more asymmetry to the kingdoms, which honestly is one of my complaints, is that I think that currently the kingdoms feel a little too imbalanced. I want more reasons to have to go to one side or the other. Again, I even want more expansions than this. Then we have the Fountain of Fortune, which says if you make a wish, you'll have a 1 in 6 chance of having it come true, which if you possess the matching dragon ring, it's even better. But it does seem like with some of the little actions, will I take a chance on a 1 in 6? I mean, possibly, probably, maybe not. I don't know. I love the idea. I think the chances, maybe that's to be more mitigation. Unless the dragon ring, is the dragon ring a better odds, or is it just you get a better outcome? I don't quite know yet, but I am intrigued. And then we have wormholes over here. Daring to fly into one wormhole, you swap places with somebody else anywhere in the kingdom. So these add all little mini expansions you can place into the various zones, giving you more flexibility. But ultimately, the main hook of the game is it's a movement game in which everyone is involved because you're constantly triggering other people's bonuses as you move around the kingdom. Very simple movement system, and my favorite part was ultimately building up my little caverns, gathering various tiles, and trying to fulfill various objectives as I placed them into my kingdom. Overall, really enjoyed this one. Intrigued by this one. Expansion-wise, option-wise, we have the deluxe bundle for €75 over here, and then we have the deluxe edition for €65, and the base game for €49 is going to be like your, basic. And we have the full-on deluxe bundle for €125 if you need absolutely everything for the game. That is 8 Dragons, which brings us to Concordia. I may have said this already, but I think I ranked them in order of least to most preference, although Concordia does have an asterisk because you could get Castle of Burgundy as well as Puerto Rico in the extras, and if I'm counting Castle of Burgundy, this would be at least number 2, maybe number 1. Depends on how you count it, because I already have Castle of Burgundy. Anyways, take that into account as you will. This is Concordia Special Edition. Concordia is a delightful game. Castle of Burgundy is a very delightful game, and Puerto Rico was never a game I cared about until I played the Awakened Realms version of it, and now I play it a lot more. I just played San Juan for the first time yesterday. I get a few more plays in. I'll have a review coming for that soon. Also, I might do a review of Puerto Rico. I don't think I've ever done that. I think Meg has done a review of Puerto Rico on the channel. You can check that out, but I don't think I've actually reviewed it myself. I probably should do it at some point, but I want to play more of the new content that the deluxe edition came with, so take some time. It might show up in a year. Sometimes I try to review things as soon as they come out because, honestly, that's what people want to know. It helps for the hype of things. There's a lot of good reasons to review things right away. And other times I like to take my time with them and really be able to dive into it, but then the downside of that is you get a review that's more in-depth and with more time and more patience, but it does show up a year and a half later and you're like, I already bought or didn't buy it when it was relevant. the ecosystem around review content is challenging to manage everyone perfectly. Anyways, Concordia. Concordia over here is a classic game. From Macker, it's a delightful game that I loved for a long time. I did eventually get rid of it, but as soon as the Rick and Realms announced that they were doing Concordia Deluxe, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get it back. Now, I don't know if I'll keep it, but I do know that Puerto Rico, for me, Castle Burgundy was always an incredible game experience. There's no questions there for me. Puerto Rico is a game that I didn't care about the original. I played the Deluxe, loved it, tried playing the original, and was like, it's not the same. Now, Concordia is in a different bracket for me, because Concordia, I never had a problem with the visuals of the game. I always thought it did look pretty decent, and I had also blinged out my copy fully, but this looks even more blinged out than my copy, mostly good ways. Not everything, like I'm not even convinced as to, do I want miniatures, do I want wood bits? Wood bits feel more nice for Concordia. It feels like more of a match to the type of game it is, but also like I do like the miniatures in Puerto Rico as well as Castle Burgundy, so like I'm not entirely sure. There's this interesting conversation around the deluxeification of Euro games, and which direction do you take a deluxeification to make it truly feel like a Euro game. Like, a Euro game is not a miniatures game. We know that. So sometimes when you try to make it feel a little bit like a miniatures game, it could feel incredibly premium, or it could feel a little tacked on. And I think every game, as well as every person, is, going to have a different opinion as far as how those work out. For over here, in Concordia, this is an all-in for everything Concordia, as well as the new expansion Mare Nostrum, as well as the new expansion Barbarica. Barbarica is released throughout the stretch goals, the daily reveals and whatnot, so you want to check those out. This time has, for the first time in Concordia, victory comes not just from building an empire, but from bringing one to its knees. So if you wanted, a little more conflict in your Concordia games, we have that in some way, shape, or form. So I don't know if you wanted that, I didn't want that, but I certainly will try it out once I have it, like, why not? But then outside of that, the real, the extras over here is going to be the Mare Nostrum expansion, is going to be a new gameplay expansion, but they also have Venus as well as Solitaria, as well as Salsa, Forum, and Forum Piscatorium. All these mini expansions and regular expansions, all going to be included in your set, as well as all the 8 maps, all published maps for the game are going to be there as well. And it's going to give you all of that. I love the box over here, the way it has a box, but it has a sleeve for the map, so you can pull out any one individual map, so you're not stuck to having to empty everything to get to the various maps. I like that organization. Again, I think the games have generally, Puerto Rico, Castle Burgundy, they've had some incredible, Agricola I don't know yet, but Puerto Rico and Castle Burgundy have had excellent inserts as far as excellent storage opportunities, so it doesn't feel like some boxes, you open it up, like Everdell Big Box, much as I love Everdell, you open up that box and it's almost a homework assignment. And other big boxes are actually intimidating to look at, but when you get into them, they're really easy. Something like Unsettled, or the big box for Unsettled, not Unsettled, the big box for, what's the game I like? Vindication. Vindication. The big box for Vindication is surprisingly easy to actually access. Once you just open up and take out a few things, you're good to go. Similarly, the Castle Burgundy and Puerto Rico are phenomenal. Puerto Rico, I think, is even better than Castle Burgundy, and I had no real problems with Castle Burgundy. All in all, the big boxes are, if you can make it accessible, then it really can be excellent. Otherwise, it can be intimidating and too much to get into. But over here, like if you're trying to go to a friend's game night or whatnot, you can grab the component box over here, and then also grab any one map, and you're already good to go. So like that really makes the accessibility of a giant box much easier to get into. Fun fact, it's how I kind of stored my original Concordia. I had 2 boxes, and I put one into the I had 1 box full of maps and 1 full of various components. Anyways, that's all of that. Past that, the art looks great, the components look great, the miniatures look very solid, but again, I'm not quite sure how I feel about them. The wooden version looks excellent. Like, look at these wooden version over here, but also the miniatures do look pretty solid. Both look great, and I haven't decided which one I prefer. It's rough, honestly. These are first world problems to the very end, but they are first world problems. Like, look at these, look over here. The miniatures look great, but so do these wooden tokens. I don't know. I think I might like the wooden tokens more. I don't know. I haven't decided. Especially when you get to the Barbarica expansion, like if I scroll down to the various, I'll scroll through this so you can start seeing things as we go. But again, lots of content over here. Look at the various wooden components over here, the upgrades there. The miniatures again. I think I might like the wooden ones. What are people going for? Where's the editions over here? We have Concordia, Car Standard Edition. The wooden edition gets 5,800 people, and then the miniature edition is probably up top. Is that? I don't know. I'd have to look through to see what this is. The wooden edition, 2,500. I don't know. The feature one is also the wooden, so maybe the miniatures are just the extra. Maybe, I don't know. Over here we have the breakdown as far as well as you can see over here, the Barbarica expansion and miniatures versus, again, wooden standees over here, which wooden, whatever they are, meeples. Those I think in general look much better. The standees do not look great. In general, when Awakened Realms does these editions of the game, I think the standees for the deluxe Euro games, the standees don't actually look great, at least not the campaign. In person, I'm not quite as sure, but the miniatures and the wooden components usually look very solid. Anyways, that's kind of Concordia over here. I'm very interested. I'm not going to break down the pledge levels, and this is way too many. There's also, again, Castle Castle Burgundy, Puerto Rico. All I know is this is one that I am very interested in. I do not know if it will be a keeper after the fact. Puerto Rico has been, Castle Burgundy easily was. Agricola, again, even Agricola, all these games I'm kind of diving back into them. I would say Agricola I'm the least certain will be a keeper, because that one I didn't even have for the longest time, versus Concordia I let go very reluctantly, so I don't know what will happen with Concordia. We'll see what happens. I think it'll be a keeper for at least some time. And for me, honestly, I don't need to keep a game forever to be worth it. If I have a game in my collection for several years, if I play it a lot, it already is worth it. I don't think games need to be forever. My Steam library isn't games that I play all the time. They are games that I play, and then sometimes I come back to them years later. Other times I don't. Every game is game by game. Anyways, from there we get to Altera. Altera from Ivy Studio over here. This one ends, I think, the soonest. This one ends very, very soon. Altera is basically Dune Imperium with a weird theme. That's kind of what it is to a large extent, but I mean, that's a very oversimplification. But this is a festival. There's a festival going on. By the way, my least favorite part of Altera is the theme. I just don't really get the whole festival theme from all their games. Like, give me something a little bit more either competitive or my own personal tableau. I don't know. There's a festival. You're doing things. I don't get the theme in this one. I'll admit. Like Tend, ironically, Tend is one of my. I'm still uncertain as to how I feel about Tend. I'm mixed on it. Like I want to play it more still, but either way. Tend has one of my favorite themes from any Ivy Studio games. I guess Mythic Mischief has my favorite theme, but Tend is very up there. But the gameplay not quite as much. Altera, I love the gameplay, and the theme I'm kind of like whatever. I don't. This doesn't come through for me in the game. But that said, it is a dice builder. It's a worker placement game, worker placement deck builder. Except instead of building a deck, you're building a dice pool. But then you're doing a very similar thing as to Dune Imperium or Endless Winter, a little less so Lost Ruins of Arnak, in the sense that you're going to have your dice. You grab your dice from your bowl, from behind your bag. You roll them over. You do roll them behind your screen. There's been lots of questions. What about cheaters? Don't play with cheaters is my usual advice, but it is certainly a concern. I get it. Listen, like, you know, it's a real problem. You should decide if the game is for you. But in Altera, you're going to then roll those dice, and then you're going to use whatever manipulation you can. Like, there is some manipulation available, and then you're going to use some of those dice to use workers and get various benefits, and the rest you get benefits from the dice faces. Again, very reminiscent of Dune Imperium. You use some to go places, and others you get benefits from whatever's left over. But past that, you're going to be upgrading your dice to the next tier as you go ahead and choose regular dice to upgrade to special dice to upgrade to higher level special dice, as you try to manage the various tracks in the game, going higher in the track, getting various bonuses, resetting, and be mindful of the various artifacts. Now, these artifacts over here, especially the fact that they are game to game, they are different. They are going to be a different pool of artifacts. So it's not just like a deck builder game. It's like, hey, these are the artifacts you can work your engines around this game, and next game it's going to be a different combination. I hope there's as many as possible. I don't know how many they've added. I think there are at least 20 or whatnot. I do want even more. I hope they put out limited expansion packs. I don't know. That kind of thing is the main, like, why is this game, like, exciting and rewarding to dive into? Because one of the things, as much as this kind of captures that general gameplay feeling of something like Dune Imperium, the fact that you're working with a fixed dice pool that's not going to meaningfully change game to game, as opposed to Dune Imperium, you're always going to have a rotating card marker that keeps the game exciting and interesting. Like, which combinations can I play with today? So those artifacts kind of remain a central point to give you that variety to the gameplay experience. My overall opinion of Altera so far, and I haven't reviewed this one on the channel, we did a preview. I will probably review the final retail game, so I'm separating those out. I'll have a review down the road after I get to play it more, after I have the final game. But my initial thoughts, at least so far, is that I really, really enjoy it, and I'm not yet sure, does it have the gameplay longevity that other game systems have? And then at the end of the day, some games I enjoy for 3 plays, some games I enjoy for 5 plays, some games I don't even enjoy for 1 play, some games I enjoy for 500 plays. Actually, I don't think I have any game with 500, but I have games with over 200 play. Castle of Burgundy, which we already talked about, over 200 plays of Castle of Burgundy, a delightful game, highly recommend it. And Altera is like 1.5 plays so far. So this is very much a first impressions of Altera, and I want to play it more. I want to see more of it, and I think I will like it, but a lot of it will come down to how satisfying is the gameplay experience. 7 games in, 10 games in, even 4 games in. Like, it can make a huge difference. I am very interested. But yeah, the variable guild action cards, the 20 different artifacts, and the 12 unique factions ensure a game unfolds differently each time. That's going to be the main hook to me overall. Past that, I do want to highlight the deluxe wooden boards they have over here. This is something you can buy over here. These are going to be available on this campaign. I believe you have to buy them separately. The Wood Villa add-on is a part of the, yeah, I think you have to, the way it's structured here, I'm not entirely sure, but I do think you have to get them. These are included. The Neoframe playmat, the 42 plastic shards, the 42 wood upgrades, those are included in every pledge. But if you go to the add-ons, you can buy some of those wooden deluxe boards. Where are they? 2 times Altera Wood Villa boards for $20.99. They look very, very cool. I do want those. I am a sucker for how they look and how premium it feels to slot your workers in it. But yeah, That is basically Altera. Which brings me to my favorite game over here, which is going to be Rolling Deep. Rolling Deep and Eureka from oh my gosh, from Bitewing Games. From Bitewing Games. Rolling Deep and Eureka are two solo games. This is going to be a solo game, a Rolling Deep from Peter Hayward, and then Eureka from Reina Knizia, giving you two different solo experiences, of which I have played Eureka like 50 plus times. I've played Rolling Deep like 7 times, but Rolling Deep I like better, but Eureka I just charged through. The fact that you can knock out a game in like 10 to 15 minutes, I just charged through, just watching TV, just playing a game. I had so much fun with it. I'm not done yet. I still want to go through it more, but I don't know. You can check out my reviews on these. I have full reviews for these two games, so I might go a little less into these. In fact, from the other games, Entropy I will have a review. 8 Dragons I do have a review. Concordia, I don't even know if I ever reviewed Concordia. I don't think I ever did. I'm glad this gives me an opportunity to review this one. Altera I have not reviewed, but we did a preview. So I guess Rolling Deep and Eureka, you've seen the most content on this channel. There's both a gameplay and a review for both of those two games. But yeah, in the game, in Rolling Deep, you're basically playing Balatro roguelike, not roguelike, you're playing Balatro. You're playing a Balatro game, which you're going to be upgrading your dice. And they have a quote on me on the page. Like, they have a few testimonials, but the testimonial they have for Balatro is like, these dice really work well, which is true. The dice do really work well, and I was concerned they wouldn't. I've played like 3 or 4 games by now with swappable dice faces, and every single time they've been a pain. Some have been better than others, but they've always been a pain. These are by far the best swappable dice faces I have ever played in any game. But when the testimony you put on the page is that, it almost makes it sound like, well, the gameplay was garbage. Alex had nothing to say about the garbage. The thing he said that was positive was like the dice faces swap. It doesn't make it look like I love the game. So for clarity, I loved the game. I thought it was great. I gave both these games a 4.5 out of 5. Going back to my comments about Altera, my biggest concern was what's the longevity like on these game experiences? Are they kind of games that I play through and then feel like I've seen enough? Although again, 50 plus plays is always going to be enough, and 7 plays, I'm still going through it. Like, I still have more to explore with Rolling Deep, although at this point I'm kind of deciding whether I continue playing my prototype or whether I wait for the final game. That I'll decide later. I don't know. I kind of want to wait for the final game. I'm going to wait for the final game because they're tweaking and rebalancing things, so the experience I'm having right now is not really the final one. But either way, I will be playing both these games more, but I don't know where they will land. That's my biggest question or concern around them, which is a valid question or concern. Like, if I'm excited about a game, I want to tell you, but if I don't know where the game will be in 6 months, a year from now, I also want to tell you that. But overall, we have the Balatro style Rolling Deep, and then we have Eureka over here. Eureka is a whole different experience. It's basically going to be rolling dice and trying to line them up to various requirements with a bunch of things that mix up the requirements as you play through the game. I'm trying to scroll through Eureka and trying to eventually get to it. I did see what I see recently. I saw someone on my comment at one point said, oh, so this is basically like Yahtzee something. Yahtzee. You mentioned Yahtzee something or other. And I was like, I've never played Yahtzee something or other, but if that game is like this, then sure. I don't know. I think there are differences between them. I think Yahtzee is more, the one he compared it to was basically a variant of Yahtzee that seemed to be similar to this, that I've never played, but this seems to do a lot more with the system. In which case, yes. But even if they're the exact same game, I still like the game. I don't know what the basis is, but I don't think they were. I think one was like the basic concept, and others with like abilities and mixes and matches and modifications and all that. But overall, I really enjoyed this. Every turn you're going to be rolling dice, assign them to rows, but if you run out of dice before you score a row, you don't get those dice back. So you kind of want to try to, like, you know, score the rows to pull your dice back to continuously use them. Different levels have you working with different amounts of dice and different restrictions and abilities. Overall, really, really enjoyed this one. Had a lot of fun. Again, 50 plus plays deep, and I will continue to be playing it. And that's what we have for our little mini campaign review today. Oh, deluxe upgrades. I want to show you that because they had a bunch of deluxe upgrades that looked very, very cool that I did want. My game didn't have them. My game looked very prototype-y. But where are the deluxe upgrades? Are they over here? No, I think I did not scroll past them yet. Nope. Pledge levels, add-ons, stretch goals. Where? Maybe stretch goals? Maybe that's what it was? There are some, here we go. Yeah, the metal coins look great. The stackable mushroom caps, I think the game almost needs those. Needs is, I mean, relative. Like, I enjoyed the games plenty without them, but like when I saw these, I was like, that's so much better. So much better than what I was trying to do as far as table management. The 16 reroll potion bottles look amazing. I'm not quite sure about the usability of them. It feels like it might be a little bit more annoying to deal with them than stacks of tokens, but they look amazing that I'll deal with it. And then we have the acrylic tiles as well for just the nicer, more premium components. And we have a wood dice tower instead of a cardboard one, and that's like, you know, potato towers to me. I like wood. I like them, but like that doesn't feel as necessary. It feels slightly nicer. Anyways, that is what we have for our 5 campaign mini reviews. Until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.